We're going to go ahead and start with Jack Skahan, after his brace in SKC in a 3-1 victory. Getting ready, of course, for Open Cup round of 32 tomorrow against USL Championship side Phoenix Rising FC. If you have any questions.
Aura Maruri, good afternoon. Tentenay, San Francisco, California. You scored important goals this weekend. What has been the analysis for the U.S. Cup tomorrow? Thank you.
I think that the analysis is around Phoenix's physicality, athleticism, and their desire to win the game. We have to match them in all three of those phases and give ourselves the best chance to win.
How will you change your game style for the different tournament?
I don't think we will. I think we're going to try to play the same way, just physical, play as a team, play hard, and if we do those things, we'll give ourselves a chance to win.
Thank you.
Jack Robert Jonas, pleasure to talk again. And you're one of the long timers here in San Jose, so you've got a really good perspective on, what's going on now, but also how that connects to the past. Last year, Bruce Arena talked about the Open Cup as being an opportunity to find success for a team that hasn't had a whole lot in the past. What has he been saying this year as the team tunes up for tomorrow's match against Phoenix?
Well, it's been so congested. We're entering such a congested period that part of it is, we're trying to win every game we play in right now. And like Open Cup specifically, I think we all want to win a trophy. It's been a long time since the club has won something, and we would like to do that. We would like to qualify for Champions League. It's just it's an important tournament, and I guess that's been the message.
I mean, connecting that to last year, the way the team exited the tournament, it was definitely a hard-fought match. Definitely a very physical match as well. Does that memory sort of play a role in looking at this year's edition? Again, you're absolutely right. There's an open or a Champions League berth on the line, only a few games from that. Does that history play a role in what you're preparing for today?
I guess so, probably, but it's just a different team and probably a different perspective now in terms of I think that we just go into every game like the exact same way. We really just don't have the guys who are who have no interest in playing in that game. And so I think that we will approach it to win the tournament. And last year was close, honestly. I remember that game too. It was close, but
I had a kind of a similar question down about team and teamwork and the team dynamic. You said it after the game against Kansas City. Bruce said it the week before. The team is really playing cohesively in a way that maybe we haven't seen recently, even as recently as last year. How much of that is just the further development you're getting with Bruce and the coaching staff? And how much does the absences, the subtractions from last year's roster contribute to this being a better, more cohesive team?
Yeah, the coaching is definitely important here. Like the tactical coaching or technical coaching on the field, sure, but to be honest, it's more of like the coaches as a staff's ability to give people who probably were overlooked for a long time confidence in the to feel like they had the right to play. Like, I think Bo's a great example. Like, if they weren't the coaches, would Bo have gotten a chance at this club? I don't know. And he's proven that he's, obviously one of the better players on the team, in my opinion. So that's just an example of their ability to create confidence within a team. And if you do that across the board with a bunch of guys who believe in each other and get along, it matters.
And a kind of a follow-up to Saturday, and I unfortunately wasn't able to join the post-game call. You did score 2 goals. I know you gave a lot of credit to your team, and well-deserved. Definitely a team sport. But you've had a couple days to kind of dwell on that and think about it. Your first 2-goal performance at MLS, and I've never had that experience, so I don't know what I can say about it. But what as that has sunk in, how has that sort of achievement sort of resonated with you, and perhaps even how that's resonated with the people around you, your family, your friends?
Yeah, I mean it's nice because sure there's like outside opinions that at this point are good opinions, right? Like they're positive reactions to something you've done, but like the team stuff is the reality. Like I think that this team can win a lot of games, and so to contribute to that in an away game is important. Like scoring 2 goals is great, but to go win in Kansas City, it's almost like we feel like we should have won that game, but the reality is it's a really hard place to win, and I've been there a lot of times and we haven't won. So that perspective of, yeah, I contributed 2 goals, but it is because this team just gets in front of the goal.
I appreciate it. Well, hopefully some good luck again, more scoring tomorrow night as well.
Thank you.
Hey, Jack. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us today. So you had mentioned on Saturday in the post game that sometimes preparing for USL games can be harder than MLS games. Can you, elaborate on that?
Yeah, there's probably a psychological thing where you go into the game with a different perspective and a different motivation level, and then 45 minutes in, you realize that these guys can play too. And so I think that comes from just being a step behind from the beginning. And if you don't treat it that way, then it shouldn't be the problem that it presents itself to be. Like we've lost to Sacramento multiple times at this stage since I've been on the team, and those are good players on that team, but the reality is it's you can overlook it, and I don't think that we're going to do that.
And you mentioned that we're going into a congested run of games. How confident are you in the squad depth, across the board, and the next man stepping up?
Confident because it's the same thing about the coach's ability to give people an opportunity. There are a lot of guys who want to prove something, and they're good. They're good players. Not everyone has their best game every time they go on the field, but everyone here is capable of having a good game. And people deserve opportunities if they've reached this point of their career to play in the MLS. They can prove that they can do something.
And for you personally, I remember under Almeida, they had you playing as a center mid. I've seen you play right back. Obviously, had you on the wing lately. But for you personally, if it's up to you, where would you put yourself?
Probably on the wing. I was a winger growing up and in college, and Matthias wanted me to play the 10, and so I did for a long time. And I enjoyed it, but the wing is more comfortable because there's just more space. And my game is kind of centered around, like trying to manipulate space and run toward the open space. And at the wing, you can do that.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else have any questions for Jack? Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.